Highway 50 here stopped. There's construction. There's a flagman ahead. 2-lane road here. It's just another problem with this trip already. But I'm really excited about where I'm going. I'm really excited about this campsite I'm going to. Even though I'm going on the same trail I went on last time I went out there, and I'm going to see pretty much the same stuff that I saw last time I was out. But this time I'm staying at Dix Lake instead of Upper Velma Lake. And the campsites that I saw at Dix Lake looked so great. Great late season campsites. So I really wanted to go to this campsite this season before it was too late. The water is low, making the water access fantastic at this campsite. And there's another campsite there that has this grand overlook over the whole lake. I'm kind of tempted to stay there too. Don't know what to do, but I got this attitude that I'm going to be slow, I'm going to be tired, I'll probably be grumpy on the trail, but I'm going to make it, and I'm going to be really happy when I get there because it's such a nice place. I'm the only one with a reservation for Dix Lake tonight, so might very well possibly have the whole lake to myself. Even though this site is so isolated, I wouldn't know if there were other people there anyway, so what the hell. Okay, I was kind of hoping that we'd start moving before I finished, but I'm talked out. I will check in later. Damn, this is brutal. About 15 minutes sitting there waiting and watching hundreds of cars go by. And now we're moving, but we're moving slowly. And there are several large trucks in my convoy. This is going to be very slow going. That's what's going on. They're moving that gigantic crane on top of all the work they're doing on the road. That's why we're going so slow here, because we got to get around that crane. Greetings from the brutal Eagle Lake Trail again. I'm back. If you watched that Upper Velma Lakes video that included the day hike to Dix Lake, you might know that I was very happy with those campsites at Dix Lake. So much so that on my very next trip, I'm going over the same damn terrain to go back to one of those campsites. It was 1:20 when I left the parking lot. So, what does that translate to? 5:30 at my campsite, if I'm lucky. That gives me about 1 hour of daylight. Oh, we'll be racing the darkness today. So I really got to try to go there fast. I better get going then. Was the lake that low last time I was here? It looks like the Bering Sea land bridge I hear talk about. The Lake Tahoe is really low. But I didn't notice that the bay was getting closed. Weird. Maybe halfway to Eagle Lake. Predictably, I'm not feeling well at all. I passed some day hikers, so I guess I'm doing fairly well. It took me 33 minutes to go from Eagle Lake, the Emerald Bay that is, to the Eagle Lake Junction here. And I'm going up this nasty bit of trail here. Thankfully, the breeze just kind of picked up, just kind of came out of nowhere. I'm suffering. Still on that really hard, bushy part of the trail. This part of the trail, and it was very hot and humid to start, and I had to take a break at the first shade that I found here, and then a bunch of clouds came in, and hopefully it's cooler when I get moving again, but I'm not feeling well. This is very hard. Maybe with the temperature down a bit that'll help, but I'm sweating like I got the flu or something. I won't be able to do this for long. And after the last entry, I started hiking up past the junction, and I heard a howl of pain.
a 9-year-old boy fell and looked like he really injured himself. And I asked the person in between me and him if he looks like he needed help. His dad was running up from the other direction. Sounded like they needed help, so I went downhill. Yes, I backtracked downhill. Something I never do when I'm backpacking. I hate to give up that hard-earned elevation gained, but the kid sounded like he could have broken his arm. I think he's just fine. He's got a skinned knee and really wrenched his shoulder and elbow, but he was able to move everything okay. So, and they had a first aid kit, so they didn't need me. So I turned around and left. Did my good deed of the day. I got many thanks just for showing up. There we go. All the way to the top. Oh, that was a cute tree. Just wanted to get a shot of that. And of course I wanted to stop because I'm so tired. Finally, the Bayview Junction. It took me 2.5 hours to go 2.6 miles. That is just about 1 mile per hour, and that's what I feel like. Well, I made it to the Velma Lakes Junction in about 3 hours after my departure. But I'm just going to keep on charging here. Pretty tired, pretty worn down, but I want to do a real pack-off break at the lakelet, and I'm pretty darn close to that. So hopefully that'll get me rejuvenated enough to get me up and over that hill to Dix Lake and on over to the Eastern Peninsula where I plan to hike, where I plan to camp. Okay, too dry to talk. Blech. Well, I made it to my break spot. I did not settle for less. It is a cute little lake. I took a full half hour off here. I had decided that I'm not going to take a timed break. I'm going to take a break based on what I need to get done. And what I needed to get done was I really needed to cool off and dry off and get, sorry about that, and get all the sweat out of my clothes. Well, at least dry it off. I swear I had an extra 2 pounds of sweat. But shirt got all dry, pants got mostly dry, underwear got completely dry. You know what didn't feel totally soaked when I got here? After I took off my boots, my socks felt fine. These darn tough socks. Brilliantly constructed with an inner layer of something synthetic and the outer wool. Just felt, my feet feel dry. It's amazing. Okay, I'm ready to go. Just suddenly dawned on me that I'm really tired now. The sun is going down. God damn it. I'm not going to have any sun to bathe by when I get there. Not even close. In fact, it's going to be, the haze is kind of clearing up and it's getting kind of bright now, but I'm going to be walking into the shadow of that pretty soon. The rather large thing to the right there, that is creating a vast shadow to the lower part straight ahead, which is what I'm crossing over. So I'll be hiking in the shade for probably the rest of the hike. And I'm about 4 miles in. I got about maybe just a touch over a mile to go to my campsite. I got about maybe a little bit more than a half a mile to get up and over that difficult part up there. And then it'll be flat and up and down. But I won't have any more switchbacks to do. But I do have one hard section to do here. I got to climb 200 or 300 feet there in half a mile. So let's get on it. The sooner I do, the sooner I'll be in camp. Bye from the little tiny lakelet that does not have a name. I should name it. It's rather nice, really. It'd make a great reflection pond if the air would ever get still, but it's not quite a lake. It hasn't had any water flowing in or out in a long time, and there are bugs swimming around in the water. And there's grass growing under the water right here. Not much of a lake, but it's pretty. It's pretty. Okay, put the camera away, put the pack on, and start walking. It's 5 o'clock. I gotta be there soon. I've only been hiking for a few minutes, and this wall's getting a lot closer. The trail goes to the left of it and up and over. But I just wanted to point out for the adventurous folks here, take good note of this spot. There's a dead tree here. There is a marker. That thing in here, that's basically a trail marker. See, somebody cut that. That's a footprint marker. And there was probably one on that tree too, but it's gone now. Here is an old trail. And by old, I mean really old. When I was a kid, around 1980 maybe 85, I hiked from Velma Lakes to right here on this spot on this trail. Because this trail was on my map. I had a hell of a time staying on the trail. And shortly after I got here onto the Dix Lake Trail, I saw a ranger and I pointed out, look, that trail is in terrible shape. I had a hell of a time staying on it. He says, what trail? He says, the trail from Upper Velma Lake. And he looks at me and says, that trail hasn't been maintained for 20 years. And that was 30 years ago. So we're looking at here is a trail that has not been maintained for 50 years. And I went down it a couple weeks ago when I camped at Velma Lakes and did a day hike that brought me up to Dix Lake and back down here. I went back via this way. I couldn't stay on the trail all the way. I lost the last third of it. But I did note that the construction of the trail was quite different than what you see nowadays. There is no construction. The roots that happen to appear on the ground are that is what they use for the cross, the boards they put across to keep the trail integrity, keep the integrity of the trail. There's none of that stuff there. So it's basically just a creek bed with style. Okay, I got to keep hiking more. But I did want to note this. That is Upper Velma Lake. In fact, I think you can barely see part of it here. I'll zoom in and maybe I'll be able to tell when I get home. That looks like a lake shore, doesn't it? Way over there. Yes, it does. Upper Velma Lake. Foreground. But there it is. Getting close to the top of the hill here, but getting tired. Hiking conditions are very good right now. I'm feeling much better. And really glad that I don't have a bunch of wet clothes on now because it would be very, very chilly hiking right now. But as it is, it's perfect. It's hard climbing up. That warms me up just a little bit. Keeps me in equilibrium. Okay, gotta do the last push here. You see a lot of this really weird rock around here. Multicolored. You can see I'm very close to this hill. And crossing over there. I'm getting there. But it's hard. It's hard. And I'm tired and I'm old, but I'm so glad for that break. Hiking with Pujita is teaching me these lessons in old age. She can only go about 3 miles before a toe really starts to hurt. She recognizes that if she can get into cold water, get her foot into cold water by the 3 mile mark, she's okay to go a little more. That's the best she can do right now. And she has to go really slow the whole time throughout. So hiking with her, going really slow, has taught me the benefits of going really slow, taking long breaks, taking your pack off, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be doing more of that. used to be on a 5-mile hike. My attitude is, you're almost there, almost there. Just push through the pain and just get there. And once you're there, you can really relax and not worry about the pain. But this going slow, taking a good long break when you need to, sure makes the rest of the day a lot better. Well, I'm at the crest here. This here is a junction of the PCT with the Dix Lake Local Trail. Oh, actually, no, that is the PCT. I forgot PCT goes down to Fontanalis. And I'm not on the PCT yet, but I am now. Okay. The old days, you'd go down over there, follow this trail to the junction where it meets the Dix Lake Trail and moves over to Dix Lake. But this whole basin over here is Dix Lake. And I'm aiming for the far left side. Of course, I get up here and the sun is out. There's some neat sky effect over here. However, the sun is about to go down on me here. That means it's already down on my campsite. Don't know how I'm going to get clean today, but it's going to be a sponge bath. See, there goes the sun. Okay. Now, it's flat and downhillish and a just thrashing cross-country. A perfect cross-country jaunt. I stayed high whenever I could because I don't want to climb if I don't have to. Makes me hot and tired and sweaty. But if you go down too soon, you go down before this lagoon here, and then you're just going to have to climb again anyway. So from that junction, I'll put a map up that will show you the straight line path to go to get to where I'm going. Because if you go to Dix Lake, you want to go to where I'm going, even though it's really hard. Because there's a lot to see over here. There are 2 amazing campsites, and there are other campsites in case you get skunked out of one of those. But they're way around the lake. You can't get skunked out of one of those. And you get to see the most beautiful tree God ever created. Or, I don't know if beauty is the word, but interesting. That this dead part over here is long dead part. But look at how big that thing is, resting on stone. I was just here a couple of weeks ago. I took this shot, but I didn't take it from over here. It's a little too crowded over there. You can't. The thing is so big, you have to back up. Okay, that's as good as I'm going to get. Isn't that something? Double tree, and it's falling. It is falling. I think it is more of an angle than it was when I was here before. So come and see it while you can, folks. It looks like there's no way to keep going around the lake. But this is passable. This is passable. You're not going to fall in the water. It's safe. It can be done safely. I'll do it for a little bit. I mean, don't be stupid. You're going to want to lean to the left hard. If you jump to the right, you could really hurt yourself. But if you lean to the left and you really screw up and trip, you'll merely fall to the right and you'll be fine. You're not going all the way in the water. It would hurt. You don't want to fall. That's just one of the rules of walking on granite, period. Ugh. And this is where I had that conversation with that woman. I was up higher. She's at the end of that peninsula. And we chatted, even though she's 100 yards away. Okay, this is a little dangerous. I want my poles to do this. There's a safer route going higher, but I'm just going to put my camera away and walk across this. I'm not doing any climbing today. And now that you are across what looks like an impossible crossing, careful what you do next. Do not make the mistake that I did and continue to try to go around the lake. This, all that granite over there is a peninsula. To go to the campsite that I want to go to, we're going to cut that peninsula off. There's another really good campsite right on the peninsula. But whatever you do not want to go this way through this little camp here. You do not want to go through that little camp, because if you do, the only way to continue further is over that wall, which is a hard climb, and there's water below it. And you might think, well, it's a hard climb, there's water below it, but I can get over that. Yes, I got over it too, but you don't want to know what's on the other side. It was a knife edge. There was no getting down the other side. You have to go to the very top and then make a left and walk along a knife edge for 15 yards or so. It was not fun. It was very scary. It's not something you want to do with a backpack on. So go this way. Go this way. Oops, back out. You want to go that way because you want to go, that big rock that I was telling you about is connected to a much bigger rock, and it's a very big rock. You want to go around that whole thing. So walk this way until you go around that rock. Got it? The rest is not dangerous. Hard work going around this wall, but it has to be done. And there's actually a trail here, because this is the only safe way over. Go up and over through that. Keep cutting across the peninsula. Out of breath. I made it just before 6. I already walked right through the campsite, because oddly, I'm dying to come here, even though the campsite is nothing special. It's pretty plain. What is special is this. I'm hot and tired. I wish the sun was up, but I have this clean, gorgeous granite area for doing my washing. And luckily there's been a lot of sun today, so at least the rock should be hot. But look what's beyond the water edge. It's deep right here, 4 or 5 feet deep there. But check this out. I can walk right in over here. Can walk right in here to a bunch of granite sand. If it billows dust, it won't be billowing much. This is a nice spot. Oh God, it's even better over there. So, I mean, just look at all the lounging places one could lounge here when it's nice and sunny. And there's this peninsula here, which is kind of cool too. So, you see where I am. I'm at the far, not the far end of the lake, but pretty close. I walked around a lot. You see the far end of the lake, that's where the trail meets the lake, way over there. I came a long way around here, but I did some shortcuts. I'll be showing you that on a map. Okay, I have got to turn this camera off, tear all my backpack off, my clothes off, get as clean as I can without freezing. Get to work, man. I don't think there's any question. This is the hardest day of backpacking I've done this year. It wasn't the longest day by a long shot, but it did have 2,000 vertical feet, and that's pretty significant. But it also came on a day where I did not get enough sleep, and I was exhausted before I even started hiking. It was I was that low on sleep, and I was determined that I was just going to power through 5 miles. 5 miles isn't that far, even though it was a hard 5 miles. And I did it. I powered through everything. The steep part was just brutal. I had a very hard time getting through that, and I had doubts during the steepest parts. But as I noticed last time I was on this trail, if I get something to eat and the trail level's off, I do a lot better. So everything is done. Everything that needs to be done is done. Some of it's a little half-assed, but at least my tent's up and I have stuff fluffing. It's almost 8:30, and I didn't get done with everything until around 8. Well, very dark. It was very dark by then. I'm glad I have my little Lucy Lux here. I've never been a lantern guy at camp. I figured I don't want too much light around. But tonight it's really good because this place is just downright spooky. Especially the way I'm situated here. I'm sitting on these very flat rocks on the near the lake. I mean, 5 feet away from the lake right here. And I have to constantly remember that I'm right next to the water. If I drop this thing, it might roll in. Anything I might drop might end up in the water. I might end up in the water if I'm, forget that it's water, because the air is so still tonight. The lake is incredibly glassy, and generally I look around and it seems like there's a nice sheet of ice next to me or something flat and hard that I could walk on. I have to constantly remind myself that it's not hard. It's not something that I can walk on. Going to go to bed early. That's for dang sure. I'm just going to listen to some entertainment now that I can relax. And I'm not going to stay up late. No question about that. So tired. So exhausted. But yay for me. I did a really hard hike. I really pushed myself today. Sweated so much. I could not believe how much I sweated. Got completely naked at my my pack off break. I just I figured, well, I'll take my shirt off. That'll it dries fast, so it'll definitely be nice to have a dry shirt. And then I realized that my pants are soaked. My underwear is soaked. I'm just soaked. So I took off my pants and my underwear. My socks are fine. The darn tough socks are really well designed. I don't feel, it didn't feel hot at all. Okay, I can barely string a sentence together now, so I better shut this thing off. Well, that's my morning view. Not bad, eh? It's a gorgeous morning. It's after 9. Wow. It's about 50 degrees out here, and the sun still hasn't made it over to my campsite. Oh, yes it has. It's just now hitting this little peninsula right there, so it'll get on me eventually. But didn't get out of the tent until 8:30, so I must have gotten at least 8 hours of sleep. Feeling pretty good. The body doesn't feel wrecked at all like it did yesterday. God, was I a wreck last night. But I could have stayed there a long time. I just didn't realize it was so late. Well, there's my little campsite, or at least the granite part of it. You can see the water is very impressive here. It's more impressive here. I'm standing on the peninsula. Look how it just goes and goes and goes into the water there. Water is deep, dark, scary. Extremely pretty over here. I love this lake. It is such a beauty. Nobody here that I can tell. Didn't hear anybody last night, didn't see any lights. The good camping on the peninsula, I know, was empty at 5 o'clock. And I saw no lights way over there on the far side where the trail hits the lake and people will camp there, most likely. I got nothing planned for the day. I recovered really well from wiping myself out yesterday, but I'm not about to go climb Dick's Peak or even go up to the pass. Most I'm going to do is wander around the shore here. Yeah, it's going to be an easy day today. I don't want to take any chances, because I was really in danger yesterday. I was so tired and so just in a stupor. I could have fallen. A lot of things could have happened, but they didn't. And I managed to get here. I'm so happy about that. I certainly wasn't feeling well early on the trip, that's for sure. And this is magnificent. If I come to Dick's Lake again soon, I will go to the other campsite because it's so pretty. And this campsite is nothing special. I mean, my tent's up there, and I only go up there to go in the tent, and I'll probably go in there to avoid the sun at some point because there's a lot of good shade up there. But that other side over there looks just magnificent. It has it's over there just around the corner of that peninsula there. And it's a high, it's high off the water, probably as high as that first rock there. And you can see all of the lake from that perch. It's like a perch. I like this view here though. It's a good self-portrait. Well, I'm at the other campsite here. And it's not perfect. Here's a tiny little tent spot. It's really small. From log to log, it's maybe 8 feet. There's just not enough room here to set up my tent, which requires quite a bit of space for a little tent. But this is a good sheltered spot. I mean, if you need a sheltered spot. And this looked like a bit of a kitchen from a distance, but it is very pretty. I mean, this is the most sheltered spot here. The big problem with this campsite is that it's pretty exposed. It's much breezier over here than it was at my site, and it's also really sun exposed. This seems to be the best tent spot here, and it's got a view, but it's small, and it's probably all rock underneath. There's a big flat rock here. There's probably rock everywhere here. So a non-freestanding tent is not going to be easy. But here's the view from this spot here. There's a great kitchen spot. Just wish there was a better tent spot. It might be worth coming over here for dinner and hanging out in the evening and wander back to my tent in the dark. I'll think about it. There is decent water access considering how high this campsite is. It's kind of reminiscent of Schmidel. Pretty steep slope, but it's pretty nice at the bottom there. Nice flat rock with that extends into the water. Looks very nice. But I just wanted to loosen my legs up a bit and come over here just to do something. I'm gonna head back now, and my other excursion of the day will be to just hike a little bit beyond my campsite around the shore just to see what's there, because I have no recollection of what's there. Maybe there's an awesome campsite. Part of the purpose of these trips, I mean, the purpose is to get out in the mountains, obviously, but also I want to kind of catalog the places I'm going, to point out the good campsites and pros and cons of going to that spot. Oh, what a great day here. Still have the lake all to myself. Haven't heard any voices. The Dick's Pass Trail is not far away, and I should be able to hear people coming down that. I did last night when I was coming in. Well, it was that time of day to dig a hole, so I went from the high site. Just walked beyond my campsite to do a little exploring beyond my campsite and dig a hole while I was out there. But while I was out there, I found another campsite that is arguably equally as good as mine, and within view of mine. It has great water access. It has great rocks on the water. That water is a bit farther away. It's got a much better tent spot. Although the one at mine seemed kind of lumpy and seemed kind of angular, I did manage to find a really good angle to pitch, and it was very comfortable last night. I slept really well, but this is clearly nicer. And no worries putting a tent stake into this stuff. It's just granulated granite. The water is farther away. It's more exposed to the sun. Maybe the wind too. My side over there is remarkably sheltered. The water is farther away. I don't like that. But good tent spot. And, you know, reasonable kitchen zone. There's a couple of flat rocks around here. I could make this work. And a really cool peninsula. The peninsula over there is better than mine. It's a nice big flat area to sit on and such. But I'm not going to move. Well, it's high noon, and I've retreated to this nice little tiny cove here. Little stony beach. It should give me shade for at least another half an hour. I sure hope so. And I'm just going to relax. In the hottest part of the afternoon, I'll get in the water to some degree. I need to wash my hiking clothes from yesterday. That was one of the shortcuts, one of many shortcuts I did in setting up camp yesterday. I really wanted to get minimally set up as fast as possible. Well, it's 1 o'clock, the sunniest time of day. The rock shore area is entirely being blasted by the sun right now. So, it being a relaxing camp day, I've set myself up really nicely in this nice shady zone here. Isn't going to be any sun touching down here. Well, just a little bit partial, which is nice because it gets cold when the winds kick up. But I'm going to be very protected from the sun here all day long, so I can go in and out of the sun when I please. I still haven't done my clothes washing yet, and I figure around 3 o'clock, hottest time of day, I'll strip off my clothes, do some washing, and play around in the water a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue listening to my audiobook and just relax in this very comfy zone here. Do I look comfy? Can you see? I'm comfortable. This is nice. This is really, really nice. Love this place. And I prefer this campsite to the one next door because of the fact that I have some shade protection here. Very nice shade protection. And in a little bit, the siesta hour, the tent will have at least 80% shade coverage. And that'll be really comfy for a late afternoon nap if I feel like doing that, which I might. Fun times here. I love backpacking. Still no sign of any people today. Haven't heard anything. Nothing. Winds are kicking up. It's kind of nice. Oh, a trio of women just came into my camp just now. And a couple of big dogs. Shocked. I've stayed at this campsite maybe 3 times. This being the 4th. Never, ever have seen anybody come here. Slight update for the moment. It's probably time to do the laundry and such. Let it dry while it's still windy and sunny. And then I'll be right back up here. Got a perfect little laundry room here. This rock is about the water there is about 4 inches deep at the deepest. And the water is flowing in, so the clothing doesn't want to flow out, and it just kind of sits there and gets agitated. It's my own little washing machine. Oh, so glorious out here. God, beautiful. But you know what? This water is so cold. I wasn't just, really tired last night. I walk into the water, and in about 10 seconds, it starts to hurt. 15 seconds, I got to get out. I keep trying. It's not getting any better. So I heard some voices for a little while, but I think that the women are either gone or they've gone over to at least as far as the peninsula, which is pretty far away. I shouldn't hear any sign of them tonight, I imagine. Although they sound like they're having fun and they're pretty loud. But I'm happy to share the lake with a few people, especially spread out. Anybody who wants to come and put up a tent right next to my campsite is in for a hostile reception. Not quite hostile, but a chilly reception, put it that way. Okay, time to take the stuff out of the washer and into the dryer. Here is a diving rock. I can see rocks under the surface there, but I think they're at least 15 feet down, and there's one part that looks like it's just infinitely deep. Of course, not that I'm going to test it. It's about 18 feet up here, maybe 12 feet if you jump from over there. The sun has set down behind the mountain here, and I had a brilliant idea. I was considering earlier in the day schlepping all the way over to the high peninsula campsite for dinner time and for the evening time. But then the women that were over here claimed that campsite, so that option was out. And that's when I got the idea, hey, I'll just go over here for evening time, dinner time, especially since the sun is going down behind the mountain early, but there'll be a couple hours of light still. This is a good place to be. I'm on the perch that the women wanted to camp on. It's a ridiculous place to camp, but it's a great place to hang out, that's for sure. And it's just a couple minute walk. I mean a 1 minute walk from my campsite. I just threw a bunch of stuff into my backpack, carried my stove and chair, and wandered on over here, sitting in one of the best natural chairs I've ever seen. Look at that. Back up a little bit. It's exactly the right height off the ground. That's exactly the right angle. It's only 6 inches deep, but that's all you need. And it just fits perfectly. It's very, very comfortable, even with no cushioning. It's just rock and gravel here. So I'll be switching off between my comfy chair and that spot there. See if I can find a good comfy chair spot here. Man, it's going to be a pretty evening. I'm going to get food going because I want to eat before it gets dark. Signing off. Dinner is steeping. See how beautiful and tranquil it is here? Really is something. I'm too lazy to get up. I noticed today, you can see a bit of the effect here. It's hazy. You can see the light coming over there is illuminating some haze. So I think that's going to inhibit the star viewing a bit. It's not going to be bright and crystal clear like it usually is when there's no clouds in the skies. It's just a bit of haze up there. Hopefully it'll clear up because I'm really looking forward to this perch here where I'm sitting is just ideal for stargazing. It's just amazingly ideal, as is the natural chair here. You lean back on the wall when your head leans back and it just naturally looks up at the sky. Well, I got to do a little bit of clothes rearranging before dinner time. Got another 25 minutes to wait. Fish are jumping all over the lake. It is so peaceful here. Oh, looks like we got some visitors coming. Must be the mergansers that I saw when I first got here. If I had my camera ready with me, I could have gotten a good picture because they came right up to me. Check me out. They were just like 8 feet away. is it peaceful. Dinner's just about ready. It's the last bit of light before darkness comes. You might have seen a flash across the lake there. Right there. There is a campsite on the far side of the lake. So if that single fellow was a single camp, that would be 4 camps then. Not too bad. At least it's quiet. I could hear the dogs every now and then. The women's dogs that are on the peninsula. Very strange because their camp is like just beyond the peninsula, so the barking dog sound goes across the lake and bounces off of the mountain wall across the lake and back to me, and just sounds so spooky. Mountain House chicken and rice was really bland, quite reminiscent of the Mountain House stuff of the 70s and 80s, but at least it was edible, and after sitting for 30 minutes it was certainly hydrated, but it was like cafeteria food. It is nice over here. I'm gonna stay a while. There's a campsite right in the middle of the frame there on the other side of the lake. That's pretty far around to the other side there. I had no idea that there was any camping there at all. Barely enough light to video anything. Stars are coming out already. Well, it's the end of another glorious day. It's about 11:15 or so. Such a great night up on the camp next door on that little perch over the water. It's just magnificent. Such a great view of the sky. Just a full view of Dick's Peak and its shoulder as it descends, and just a big sky beyond. It was just incredible view tonight. And I have some neighbors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 camps here tonight. As many as 6, maybe only 5. But wow, tomorrow's going to be crazy. I think there was only supposed to be, I think there were reservations for 4 today. But that doesn't take into account people passing through who did not choose Dick's Lake as their first stay. Blech. Still loving this little Lucy Lux lamp. God, I think it's just so convenient. And I guess that's about it for the night. Great day again. Just really love this trip. Dick's Lake is a beauty, but it's a shame that I waited until, well, I waited this late in the season. Where are we? October 8th? Because it's just so crowded over here. And even during the weekdays, even now in October, it's not empty like the other side, going out of Wrights Lake right now. There is not a lot of people over there at all, and you could easily get a lake to yourself. I did get Dick's Lake to myself last night. That was pretty nice. Maybe it's not that bad because last night was Thursday and today was Friday. I just have to stick more to the middle of the week. But I think I'm done with this side of Desolation for this season. I've seen an awful lot of it. But who knows? I don't know what my next trip is going to be yet. Haven't figured it out. Well, that's it for the night. I'm just going to roll over and go to bed. Good night. Hard to believe this is the same lake. The winds picked up late last night and kept me from sleeping. I did not sleep very well. The winds are dying down a little bit, but still some good gusts coming up. It was really ferocious, some howling winds. It must have been gusts of up to 35 or so at the very peak. Yeah, but nothing substantial blew away that I can see. That's good. But I just was so dehydrated. I drank twice as much water as I usually do at night. And I had no extra water this morning. So I had to come straight down and get water. And I'm almost done with that, and I'll get some coffee going. And then figure out what I'm going to do with this day. I will be leaving today, but not too soon. Whitecaps on the lake right now. That's insane. It's windy. It was a lot windier last night, though. Look at it over there, man. It's just ferocious. It's like the ocean. Did I mention that the extended weather forecasts before I left said that there would be light winds, like 5-6 miles an hour? Yeah, got that wrong. Not a cloud in the sky, though. They got that right. Pretty day. I'm assuming this is going to die off pretty soon, but I don't know. We'll see. Back to camp. Still absolutely ferocious out here. I'm all packed up. Backpack ready to go. And this is me almost ready to go. Let's see, it is, wow, 1:30. Strange. It's been a really weird day. I got so little sleep the day before the trip that I was just wrecked all day on the first day. Slept great that night. Had a great day too. Felt like $1,000,000. Could have done anything. The wind kicked up in the middle of the night last night. Kept me up most of the night. Didn't sleep very much, and now I'm back where I was at the beginning. Not quite as bad, but I'm a little off. And I do kind of want to get going as soon as I can so I can get off of the freeway as soon as I can. I'm just watching the whitecaps racing across the water. It's so windy that sometimes the whitecaps will get really intense, and then another gust will kick right on top of that and kick all the vapor off, and then this white vapor. It's like snow. It's like snow blowing across the snowfield. Oh, feeling good at the moment. It's really cold. I just took off the pant legs, and I'm gonna have to talk myself into taking off this shirt before I go. It'll be chilly, but as soon as I start moving, it's gonna get warm. And I guess that is it. So long from Dick's Lake. What a great stay again. I love this place. Should be swarms of people here later. I should see lots of people on the trail on the way out. Okay, let's get started here. Over and out from Dick's Lake. Beautiful place. You can see the whole lake from up here, or almost all of it. My campsite is around the corner to the left, out of sight through the trees there. Magnificent view. A great day for hiking. Sun is hot, air is cold and windy. Not bad. I haven't been checking in much on this hike down, but to my surprise, I'm doing really well. I powered up and over the cross country going out of Dick's Lake, and felt really strong all of a sudden. Felt really good hiking around over here. My extreme sleepiness and fatigue from that is kind of compartmentalized somewhere, so that only bothers me a little bit. But my legs are strong, my lungs are good, everything feels great. The back's good, pack feels good. But just in case, I promised myself I was going to stop at the Bayview Junction to take my pack off and to eat and drink, because I want to make sure that I don't suddenly use up all my energy and fall apart at the very end, like I often do, even when I'm feeling really well. The timing was perfect. I had this big, huge breakfast, a couple of cups of coffee, and it was just all digested and in my system when I took off. And so that was waning, so I had to replenish that. But I also, it's really windy, and this little spot here is a little bit of a windbreak. But last time I hiked on that trail, the really steep part that's densely forested, I got pretty chilly. And this time I wanted to just give myself a chance to get the sweat to dry up a little bit, because it's so cool, and the hiking downhill is so easy, I may not even crack a sweat. But if I enter that zone all sweaty, and then it's all windy, I'll get cold. I don't want to get cold. This group of people that I talked to up at the top of at the Bayview Junction, they were all wearing their down jackets on their break. So stronger than they are, but they were Indian, so I guess they're not used to cold. I'm Asian Indian. All is well. Probably won't be checking in until I get back to the car. I'm really glad I'm feeling good and having a good time, meeting a lot of fun people. Tons of people going in. I counted about 20 headed for Dick's Lake and about 10 going to Middle Velma, and 4 going to Upper Velma. And that's just the people that I saw at this hour. I'm sure a lot of people started their Saturday a lot earlier and are already there. There are 3 campsites at Dick's already occupied when I got there, and there's going to be 20 people descending upon them. I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna stay. And it's supposed to be 50-mile-an-hour gusts, and Dick's Lake is one of the gustiest lakes up here. They're gonna get blown to bits because most of those campsites are exposed. Oh well, it's an adventure. I had my adventure. I guess I'm ready to go, so I'll just pack up and head down.